Okay, hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon. So I'm just going to wait for people to join the stream. Okay, so please, if you can, sorry, if you can hear me, let me know. Okay, I'm just trying to adjust and arrange all of my sets, my lightings. Okay, all right. So I'm just going to wait for people to join the stream. Good afternoon, please. I need somebody to please help me and confirm. Abigail Quack here. Good afternoon. Please, is the sound okay, Abigail? If you can hear me, let me know. Okay, so that we can start straight. We don't need to waste so much time. We're just going to start straight. We'll go straight into our tutorial for today. Let me know. Good afternoon, Angel Chuku. Good afternoon. You're watching from Ghana. Good afternoon, Ijoma Eke. Please, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is our sound okay? Abigail, you're watching from Ghana. Let me know. Somebody should let me know, please, so that we can start straight. So for our trouser today, we're going to be using our free hand. Okay, thank you so much, Abigail, for confirming. So I can now fix my microphone. Okay, so we're going to be starting now. So let me show you guys the fabric that we're going to be making use of. So this is the fabric that we're going to be making use of. Is a crepe fabric. Okay, so I have about 2 yards. So the fabric is actually about 2 yards of fabric. So that's what we are going to be making use of for our tutorial today. Ijoma, so much for confirming. Mercy, you're welcome. All right, so guys, let's get started. So this is the fabric. So what I actually did initially, I just cut out a piece that's from the top. Okay, so the length of the trouser we're going to be cutting, the length to be 42, and then the crotch. So for most of you that have been asking me, how do you measure your crotch? So I want to show you. So this is like the safest one that I normally use. This is like the safest one for me. I am measuring my client. This is what I normally do. Can you see? This is what I normally, if it is a high waist, I'm going to place it here and then bring it to my button like this. So this one is like the one that, in case you don't want to do so much calculations, this one is just like the best measurement for you to use. Okay, but if you don't want to do that, maybe for instance your customer is not around, you can use their waist measurement. You divide it by 4 and then add like 2 or 3 inches to, sorry, your hip measurement. That's the client's hip measurement. You divide the hip measurement into 4 and then add like 2 or 3 inches. Most times I try to add like 3 inches to it. Okay, so that will still help you. But this one that you measure directly, or you sit on a chair and measure. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to cut out the front and then we'll use the front to cut the back. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, I'm just trying to get my chalk. Now, wow, this chalk, I kept it somewhere very close to me just now, very close. And now I'm looking for it again. So I'm going to turn my camera. Okay, we are good to start. So I found it. So let's see. Let me adjust. So let me on the light first. Okay, let's turn the light and then let's turn the camera. So let the camera go back to the floor. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is it. So we're going to be drafting. So like I said, we're going to be using the floor. Okay. So I'm trying to, okay, this is the wrong side. I'm trying to find the wrong side. So like I said, the length of the trouser that I'm making use of. So I need to pack this my hair because I don't want it in. It's just so disturbing me. So I'll show you guys how to fold the fabric. So I'm just trying to fold the fabric. So what I will use to fold my fabric, I'm going to use lap measurement, divide by 2. Okay. I'll use, so this trouser is not a very fitted one. So it's still going to open up a little bit. Okay. So let's see, let's adjust. Let's shift it this way. Okay. So that we can see the floor perfectly well. All right. So let's see. Okay, to do a zipper fly, that will be in another tutorial. For this one, actually I did not plan to do a zipper fly for this tutorial, so maybe in another upcoming tutorial I'll show you guys how to do a zipper fly. So let's just keep our hands crossed now I think we'll do that within this week. I just pray I remember. That's the problem. I'll show you guys how to do a zipper fly. I have it on my YouTube channel if you check though. Plenty this. So now we're going to start. So you can see the way I am folding my fabric. I folded the fabric, okay? So let's see, let's get started. Okay. So let me just place everything like this so that it will be easy for us. So the tie that I'm making use of is about 25 inches. So that 25 inches, I'm going to divide that into two. So I'll check if that one is okay for me to fold my fabric. So I have about 12.5. So this is about 15 inches. So I'm going to leave this at 15 or 16, okay? So that's it. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to mark all of my lines. This line is going to serve as my start line, okay? So that part is going to be the start line. So from that line, I'll add a band of 2 inches. So this is how I'm going to do. I'll place it like this, and then I'm going to mark my hip line, okay? So the hip line that I'm making use of for this now, the hip line that I'm making use of is 9 inches. So I'll mark 9 inches here like this. So this 9 inches is for the hip, okay? And then remember our tie, that is our crotch. Sorry, our crotch measurement. So for the crotch, I'm using 26. Okay, so that 26, I'll divide that 26 into two. I'm going to have 13 inches. So I'll mark the 13 inches here. Like, can you see? So this one now is going to be crotch line, which is 13 inches. I'll mark it like this. And then the next line I want to mark is my knee. So for the knee line, this one I actually did not measure for the knee. So I'm just going to do an estimate because the trouser is not, it's like it's just like a straight trouser. So I'm just going to use 19 inches for the thigh. That's for the knee, or use inches. And then like I told you guys, I said the full length, I'm using 42 inches for the full length, okay? So this is 42 inches now. I'm going to add, because I'm going to fold the trouser, this is 42 inches. I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll add that 4 inches. So yes, I'm adding 4 inches because that's what I want to use so that I'll have enough allowance. It's better for it to be too long than for it to be too short. Okay, let's get started. So on this waistline, please, if you're just joining us, you're welcome. Let me know where you're watching me from. I hope the camera, the sound, everything is okay. Measurement from the hip to waist. The measurement from hip to waist is usually 9 inches. That's it. That's like standard measurement is 9 inches. So if for those of you that are just joining us, you're welcome. You guys should please like this video, okay? I will like is 9 inches. Just like well, let me bring it so that it will be very close so you can see the lines properly. So 9 inches, which is the same thing with our skirt length, skirt hip. You understand? For people that are tall, 10 inches. It's the same thing with skirts. So those are the lines. So now we'll come to the waistline, and this is the waistline. We're going to divide the waist measurement. So the waist I'm using is 28. I'll divide that 28 into 4. I'll divide 28 into 4 like this, and then I am going to place it like this here. I'm coming in like this. I'll mark it like this, okay? And then I'm going to add, since it is a normal waist, I'm going to add 2 inches of sewing allowance to it. So this pants, I don't want to put that on it. I don't want to add any that because the fabric is stretchy. The crepe is stretchy, you can see. So I'm not adding any that. So I'll just mark it that way. The next thing I'm going to do, so I've marked my 2 inches. I'm going to come to the hip line. This is the hip line. So for the hip line, I'm going to divide my hip measurement into 4. And the hip measurement that I'm using is 38 inches, okay? So I'll divide 38, I'll divide that into 4, like, and then I'm going to place it like this. And then I'll add, remember I added 2 inches, I'll add another 2 inches for the start sewing allowance. I'll add it like this, okay? So you can see, so I'm connecting the line. I'm just connecting it down, okay? And then the next thing, I'm going to come to the tie, the crotch line. This is the crotch line. The crotch, like I said, we're using 26. So 26 divided by 2. This one now, we'll measure this one by 2, not 4. is 13 inches. So I'll mark my 13 inches here. Okay. And then I'm going to add allowance too. I'll add 2 inches allowance, the same 2 inches I've been using. I'll mark it so you can see. I'll just navigate the curve. Can you see what I'm doing? I'll navigate the curve like this. So 2 inches waist measurement plus 2 inches, hip measurement plus 2 inches, crotch measurement plus 2 inches. So you can just navigate the curve, and then I've gotten my curve. Okay. So the next thing, I'm going to come to my knee line. So the knee line, like I said, the knee is where you put the wideness of the trouser. And like I said, we're using 25 inches. Okay, that's for the thigh measurement. So that thigh measurement also, you divide that one into two, also not into four. So you place it like this and you mark it. That's 12.5. Okay, and then I'll add allowance. I'll just add 2 inches stitching allowance. I'll add it like this. Okay, so once I add that 2 inches stitching allowance, I'm going to connect the line. Can you see? Like I told you, I say it's a straight trouser, so I'll connect it this way. So this one is going to go like this. Let's stop here. Let's come to this side. Okay, so for this side, my trouser, I am just taking a normal waist. So I'm just going to create like a small curve like this. Okay, I don't really want it to have any shape like open or something. So that is why you can see that the line is almost like straight. Okay, so from this point, I'm just going to keep, I'll just mark it down. I'll mark it down like that. Okay, and then I'm going to come to this side like this. So the down part, if I want the down a little bit smaller, so I'm going to come to this point. I'll mark 15 inches, which is okay. I'll just mark my 15 inches here, and then I'm going to navigate this curve like this one. Let it just come and then enter into the 15 inches. So why I did this is because I want the down part of the trouser to be 15 inches. Okay, so that is why I did it that way. So I hope it is clear. In case you have questions, let me see. So before I cut, so that if we have any question. Okay, all right. Okay, so I hope you guys can see. So like I said, you check this side. Okay, thank you so much, Rebecca, for your response. So let's go. So let's cut this, and then we'll use this one to cut the back. Okay, so remember, so like I said, that is because I wanted it to be 15 inches. If not, if I don't want it to, if I want to just be like just white, like this kind of white trouser that does not really have any distinct shape, I don't need to. So this one, I'm just navigating like a small curve. Okay, just like a small curve from that part. Okay, I'm just navigating the line. I'm just cutting it straight. So when it comes to trouser, this pattern, this method, I've been using it, and it has worked. It has been working really, really, really well for me. Okay, so I've cut that out now. So you can see what I have. So the next thing now, I'm going to use this now to cut out the back. Okay, so I'll just take this piece, I'll keep it on the side. Let's use one, and then we're going to fold our remaining fabric. So I'll fold my remaining fabric. So like I said, I used 2 yards, just 2 yards of material. I'll just fold that this way. Make sure that everything is okay, and then I'll take this and then I'm going to place it. Just see the way I'm going to place it. I'm just going to place it like this. Okay, I'll place it like this. So for this now, what I'm going to do, you see, I'm going to pull this a little bit down. So that back piece is going to be a little bit longer. Okay, just like 1 inch or 2 inches. Okay, most times I don't like it to be too much. And then I'll place it this. Okay, so this one on this side, I'm just going to put like 1/4 of an inch here. Can you see? Just like quarter of an every other part. I'm going to cut it the same. Okay, so let's cut out that part first. So like I said, it is not a fitted trouser. The trouser is not like a tight pants. So just watch what I'm doing. On this side, I'm just going to open up a little bit so you can see. So what I'm going to do on the crotch part, I'm just going to add, I'll add like 2 inches on this side like this. Can you see? Just come here like this. I'll add 2 inches here like this, okay? So once I add the 2 inches, just what I'm going to do. I'll come to this point like this here, this center. I'll use add 1.5. So I'll just mark it like this. Can you see? See, I'll curve it like this. And then once I get to this point, I'm going to come here. Can you see? I'll just add on this side just like a little bit of like half of an inch. And then I'll just navigate that curve like this. Can you see? I'll just navigate it like this. So the 2 inches that I added here, on this side, when I got to this side, I reduced it a little bit. So you can do 1 inch or you can do half of an inch. Most times I usually put my 2 inches here. Sometimes I even make it, let it be together. Okay. So like I said, when it comes to trouser patterns, you can always use a rough fabric to try this out. Can you see what I'm doing? And then I'm just going to come, once I get to this down part, on this down, I'm going to reduce this back. I'll just add like 1 inch on this side. Can you see? Like this. And then this comes like this and then enters this point like this. Can you see? You can see. So I hope you can see. Let me just double check before I cut out. Okay, so you can see. Let's bring it so close so that you can be able to see it properly. So can you see what I'm okay? Thank you so much. All right, so you can see. So this down part at times you want to have, because I used to see people, they were like, this part is a little bit confusing. If you don't want, if the trouser is a free trouser and you don't want to have so much problem, you can add just half of an inch to it. It will still work perfectly well. Something that I've tried and it works perfectly well. You understand? It is something that I have tried. You can just add like half of an inch or 1 inch. And then on this side will be 2 inch. So that 2 inch, once you get to the 2 inch, you just curve it in. If it is a palazzo, you just curve it in and just take it to that point, okay? All right, so let's cut out now. Can you see where I'm cutting it? I just cut it that way, like that. So why I'm adding this one, why I added this one is because I'm going to put the zip at the back, okay? So that is why. So on this side, I'm just going to bend this waist like this. That's this back waist like this. I'm just going to slant it. You people know the way we normally slant our skirt waist. I'll slant it like this. So it will equal on this side. Okay. So that's all for the trouser. So I'm going to take out our back piece, and then I'm going to cut the front piece, okay? Because I want to add pockets too, so that is why. One does not even have okay, I'll be able to figure it out. For me to know the right side and the wrong side, okay? So I want to cut out the pocket, the part for the pocket. So the pocket is a simple process. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use this hip line, but I'll just cut out just like 1 inch. I want it to be like an inner pocket. One 1 inch, just a little bit, okay? And then I'm just going to take that out like this from this point, like this. So that's all I need for the pocket. So now the next thing, we are going to start sewing now. Okay, so let's turn back our camera, and then we're going to stitching. Okay. So for those who's joining us, you're welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Okay. So I'm just trying to set, okay, and then we are good to go. So we're going to start stitching. So before we start, I'm going to cut out the pocket. So there are actually different ways of doing pockets. There are some pretty easy method of adding an inseam pocket to your trouser. Okay, so I'm just going to go with this. So I'll just cut this up. I did not measure, but I'll measure it for the sake of you guys. So let's see. Okay, let's see. So the length that we're going to be using, I don't want it to be too long. I don't want that trouser, what do you call it? So let's just place it on it. I think I prefer it that way. Like this. So at the end of the day, the length of the I cut out is 10 inches, and then the width is, okay, on open. Let's measure it on open, is 15 inches. So, and it's folded into two. So that's why I'll just open it up so I can take one to use. Okay. Okay. So now let's start stitching. So we'll go fast. So for those of you that are just joining us, you're welcome. Let me know where you're watching me from, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to join this trouser on the line. That's like the first thing I'm going to do. So this is the crotch. Remember our crotch line. So if you are just joining us, you're welcome. Let me know where you're watching from. Thank you for joining. So I'm going to join it on this crotch line like this. So I'm using just like half of an inch to sew, okay? What's wrong with this thread? So let me place it back. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do, so that's for our front crotch. So let's the back one also. So I'm going to join the back part also. So if you are just joining, come Veronica, you're watching from Jamaica, you're welcome. So I've joined the back one. So the next thing, let's fix our pockets. Okay, so I'm going to the front piece. I'm going to open it up. So I'm going to take this like this, and I'm going to place it like this. Just see what I am doing. I'll just place it behind. Just place it straight like this behind. And then remember that part that I cut that time, that I trimmed on the pockets. So I'll just place it close, and then I'll sew it. So you can cut this out, or you can decide not to cut out. So most times I usually don't cut out. So that is why. I'll just navigate that curve. So once I navigate the curve, so if you are just joining us, you're welcome. Let me know where you're watching from. I would appreciate, like the video, share it with your friends. So you see what I did. So I'm just trimming that part. And then after trimming, I'm just going to flip it in like this. And then I'll bring this back this way, just to here. And that part is the part that I was trying to carry and run and hide. So it's this like this. Okay, so I'll pin it, then I'll iron it. I'll pin it and then give it a good press. So I'll just like flip this back. Let me pin it down, okay? Sometimes I normally pin it before I iron it. I'll just make sure that it is okay, it is looking good. So I'll just get the pin. And then I'm going to pin it. I'll pin it down like this. I'll pin this down part also. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to stitch this one now. I'll stitch it down. It's a simple process. I'll just like stitch that down. That's the down part of now. So I've stitched, that's all I need to do. I'm just going to now trim this. So you can see our pocket is done. It's just for me to press it, which I will go and do, but I just want to secure this top part. I want to secure on so that it does not move. Okay, I'll just place my machine like this and just like stitch it down. Okay, so I hope you guys are getting what I am doing, so you can see my trouser. So the first pocket is done. I'll just trim off any excess that I have here, and then to do the second one. So just watch again in case you missed the first one. So this is what I'll do. I'll take this piece like this. Okay, so this is the right side of my trouser. I'm going to place it like this. This is the right. Okay, I'll place this like this on the edge. Remember I cut out like 1 inch from this part. I'll just place it on that. Just place it, let that 1 inch come out now from here. Do you understand? So I'll turn it because I want to sew it. That is why I'm turning it. Okay, so you can place it from the back. Just place it like this. Can you see? So when you place it, you have that one, like the extra 1 inch now came on the trouser, on the pocket, and then you are now going to navigate the pocket. Just sew it down. Actually cut this off, but most times I don't like cutting it off. I prefer to sew it before I cut out. So now I'm sewing from the back. You understand? I'm sewing it from the inside. So I'll sew, and then after sewing now, I will now trim. So in case you want, you can trim it before you sew. Okay, so I'll now trim it. So now that I've trimmed it, so this is my piece. Can you see? So I've stitched it. So I'll just bring it inside back. you understand? So once I bring it inside, because I this part, I'm going to have something like this. This is the front part of the pocket, okay? To have. So once I have it like this, it is done. What I'm going to do, I'll just take this now, this piece that is flat, I'll just bring it back, let it align with the side of my trouser. Do you understand? Let's just bring it back, let it align with the side of the trouser. So once you get that, you are going to pin that down, okay? And then hit that pin. So you're just going to pin it like this, okay? So I'm going to open this up now. I want it from the front to make sure that everything is okay. So I'll bring this pins. I want to pin it properly. So can you see? I'll just place it and then I'll pin this down like this. The truth of the matter is that pocket is a very important part. It's very important in trouser making. If not, I would have said let me skip it in this live class. But sewing a trouser without pockets is not. It will not make sense. Okay, so what I want to do now, I want to secure it. I just want to secure here down. You can actually pin it, but I'll use my machine, just like stitch it down, okay? The hardest part of sewing the trouser, this pocket part. So that is why you see it taking so much time. You see, so now I've secured it. Just make sure once you bring it back, let it align. Okay, so the other thing that you are going to do now, you can decide to sew this pocket now. You can decide to inside or just sew it from outside. When you are done, you know that you will weave your trouser. Okay, so you just stitch it. You can decide to curve it anyhow style you want to give to the pocket and do that. So, and then the next thing that is remaining is just the top. It's just for me to secure the top, just like stitch it down. Okay, that's all. So for those of you that are just joining us, you're welcome. So I'll stitch it down. That's on the top part, that's around the waist area. So that's just like basically what I'm trying to do. I'll just like secure it down like that, and I am good to go. So my trouser is ready, my pocket is ready. So it's just for me to get my pressing iron and just press it just 1 minute, and then I'll return. That's how it looks, okay? And then I'll stitch the crotch part also. If you guys can hear me, I'm just pressing it since my pressing iron is not in the same room. So that's just what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to press it. And then the crotch part also, I'll press it also, both for the back and for the front. So I hope you guys can still hear me. For those of you that are wondering and seeing that the place is blank, I went to go and iron my trouser. Okay, okay, thank you so much. All right, so now you can see. So let me show you guys. You can see our trouser. The hardest part, we have already done the hardest part of our trouser. So you can see, can you see? You see the pocket, you see this is straight trouser. Can you see the pocket? It looks good, neat. So the next thing now is for us to join our trouser together. So for us to join our trouser, you're just going to take the front like this. You place it. Let me show you guys. You take the front like this, and then I'm going to take the back. Okay, out the back, I'm going to place it like this. Okay, and then I'm going to use my waist measurement. So I'm going to measure my waist. So the waist I'm making use of. So let me just double check. So my waist is 28 inches. So that is what I'm using for the waist. So I'll just take, let me mark it on the front, which is 14 inches. Okay. So let's see. So like I said, I'm not adding any dart to it. So I want 14 inches so you can see. So there's something I noticed that 14 inch. I want to adjust this the waistline from this crotch area a little bit. Why am I doing that? Because I noticed that the front is a little bit big. So I'm just going to adjust it from here, from the front crotch. Okay. Okay. So once I adjust it, I'm going to check it to make sure that it is smooth. Okay. So it is smooth at the front. So since I've adjusted the front, I'm going to adjust the back also. So why am I doing this? Is because I am not adding any trouser. So that is why. If not, if I was adding a dart, I'm just going to take that out from the dart. But since I did not add any dart to it, I'm going to take that out from that crotch. Why did I not add that? Because my trouser is stretchy. Sorry, my fabric, can you see? It's a stretchy fabric. The crepe stretches. Okay, so now let's see. Let me mark out the 14 inches hip. So the only part where for the what do you call it? My waistline. Okay, so that's the only part where I am going to be marking and measuring like this. Since I'll place it here, I want 14 inches. So this is my 14 inches. So that 14 inches, I'm just going to mark it here like this. So I'll use the edge of my pocket piece. So that's 14 inches. Can you see? And then I'll come down on this side, this around this side where the pocket is. So that's where I want to add my measurement. So the hip, like I said, I'm using 38 inches for the hip. Okay, so that 38, which is about 19 inches. So I'm just going to take it like this, and then I'll place this like this. So for me to get my 19 inches, this is my hip line. Remember our hip line. Remember when we were marking, we had our hip line. So this is the hip line. So that 19 inches, I'm just going to take this like this. I just want to check where 19 inches will fall to. So when I'm stitching, I will know how to stitch. Okay, so I'm just going to maintain my trouser that way. So I'll maintain it from the side of my pocket to get my desired measurement. So now I'm going to turn this, and then I'm going to start stitching. Excuse me. I'll place the back. So the back, definitely the back is always bigger than the front, but don't worry that. So you're just going to take them like this. Make sure, so whatever you do, make sure that the foot part, that's those two crotch line, that they match. Okay, so you can pin it down and decide to pin it, so that will make it easier for you. Okay, you guys should please like this video and share this video. Like this video and share it. Okay, so I'm going to just take the edge of my what do you of my trouser, and then I'm going to start stitching. So what I'm going to do, the pocket part, I'm just going to like push it inside a little bit, okay, and then I have to stitch because I don't want to stitch on that front part, you understand? So just stitch it like that, okay. Remember I marked my 19 inches on that part, so I'm just going to try and navigate it that way, okay. So I'm stitching. You notice that the back is bigger than the front, but I'm not minding that. I'm just continue stitching, okay. Mhm. So like I said, it is a straight trouser. I'm not putting any shape, so I'm just sewing it straight. So after this one, I just want to join it, and then the next thing is just to add the band. So on this part now I'm stitching, okay, so you can see. So I'm using my hands to like arrange it. I want it to be straight. I hate this when you're stitching straight stitch and then the thing now go and cut. Wow. Some of the most annoying things. You guys should please like video. For those of you that are just joining us, you should like the video. I would appreciate, okay. So I fix my thread. Let's continue. So I'll just place it that way and then I would continue sewing. So I'll just cut that out that way and then I'm going to stitch the other side. That's this, okay. Okay. So as I'm stitching, I'll just place them like together and then I'll check my waist measurement again on this side. So like I said, I want my waist is 28. That's like 14 inches, okay. So I'll just place it the edge so close and then I am going. It was too close. Remember the back, I'm supposed to release the back. The back is not supposed to, the back is supposed to be excess. So I'll release the back extra. Mhm. So I'll just keep stitching. So I'll release the back that way. So like I said, you guys should like the video. I would appreciate it. Like my video. Okay. I'm doing it straight. I'm doing a straight stitch. My trouser does not have any, like, it's not like it is a boot cut or something. It's just it's a straight cut trouser. It's like a corporate straight cut trouser. So that is what I am doing. And the truth of the matter is that I love the fabric. The fabric is so smooth and the texture is beautiful. So for those of you that want to register for my online classes, you can send me a message on WhatsApp. Okay? Send me a message on WhatsApp. For those of you that want to sew your dresses, you can also send me a message on WhatsApp, okay? So the next thing I want to do now, can you see the difference between the back and the front? You see it has difference. So you are going to take this, you pull it together. Most people used to ask me that question, and the back is bigger. Yes, the back will be bigger. You pull it together. You are the one that is in control of it. So you will control it, you pull it together, and then you will start stitching. Okay, you pull it together and then you start stitching. So you stitch one side and then stitch the other to the other side. Okay, so we are almost done. I might not show you guys how to do the waistband for this. It is a simple process. I've done that like 1,000 times before. It's just a straight band. You're just going to sew it round and then fix the zip at the back. Somebody was asking for a tutorial on zipper fly. I'm going to do that in the next coming weeks. Okay, maybe I'll do it as a YouTube video. I'll just do it as a YouTube video and not a live class. You know, these days most of the trousers that are in vogue, they don't even have anything to do with zipper fly. Most of them are elastic waist, so they are just good to go. So like use your hand, it's not equal. You understand? You use your hand to bring together. So that is why most times for all this down, me like I said, I like adding just like 1 inch or half of an inch to it. Okay? So the next thing I am going to do, I am done. That's like done for this trouser. So let's see. Do you have a very productive day? I am going to begin my work now. Okay, Veronica, thank you so much. Mhm. Thank you so much for joining and thank you for commenting. That's so beautiful of you. Thank you. For those of you that joined that don't comment, it's not good though. When you join, you guys should please comment, okay? Nice, it helps my video. So I'm just trying to flip this spoon and let's see what we have done today, guys. Can you see those beauty? Can you see our beautiful sweet pants? Lele, you see our beautiful pants. Can you see this is a corporate trouser? Like I said, this is a corporate. Can you see? Can you make a corporate trouser like this? Can you see? It is beautiful. Yes, it is really beautiful. You will not even believe that. How many minutes have we done this? Like 15 minutes. Okay, so can you see how beautiful it is? That's just like the simple way, simple trouser. Okay, can you see? Things are not bending. It's just for me to go and give it a good press. That is what is remaining, and then add my waistband. Okay, so I think I'm just going to stop this tutorial here right now. Yes, let's stop it here. Okay, so it's just for me to iron it, and then so let me just explain the waistband for you people. Mine is just a simple waistband. I'm not used doing any fancy waistband. Okay, Wyla, you're welcome. So we are done. So I'll just show you how I'm going to cut out the waistband. My own is just a straight waistband. Big, there's not much. So I'll take this. So I have enough what I have here. So I'll show you guys what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to cut. I'll fold this like this into two, and then I'm going to cut this. So like I said, I'm using a 2-inch band. Okay. And then I'll fold this. So the way I'm going to fix my band, I'm just gonna fold it like this and make sure that one is just bigger than one. That is all I am going to do for this. Can you see? So I'm doing a 2-inch band, and then I'm going to cut this one here. I'll cut it, let it like be half inches longer. One part will just be like half-inch longer than the original 2 inches. That's like everything is going to be like 4.5 inches. It's 4.5 inches. I no go match you. You can do 5 inches. understand? So I'll just fold it like this. Mhm. I'll cut this out. So there are different ways of doing band. There's one you can cut it open on the top, okay, and join it back. That one is usually smoother. So I think okay, let's do that one. Let's do that one. To cut it open like this. Since I had already cut it, normally you can just cut it the same open. That one usually if you're going to be stitching it on top, you usually, what do I call it? It usually grips more. That's what I'm trying to say. So for this band, I'm not adding any interfacing on it, like gum stay, band, whatever. Just sewing it straight. My client has a very, very flat tummy. So I'm just going to take this. So like you see what I did, I just opened it up. I'm just going to stitch it. So you can see one is bigger than one. One is 2.5 inches. The other one is 2 inches. So I'll just sew it. I just want to show you guys before I go. So I'll stitch it from the top. So this actually makes this particular band actually it is always, it grips more. It does not leave it's like the waist part. I don't know how to what I'm trying to get the right word to use. Like it is firmer. That one I word firmer. That be on me. It will be firm. So let me use that word. Angel Chuku, you're welcome. Yes, you add the waistband before you add the zip. Yes, add the waistband before you add the zipper. Except if you are doing a zipper fly, that's when you add the zip before you add the waistband. But if you are doing normal, you add the band first before you go and add the zip. Okay, so I'm just going to use my pins to explain it to you guys. That one is supposed to be on a full tutorial on its own, okay? How to add waistband and zip. I don't want my live streams to exceed 1 hour. We've done almost 1 hour, so I have to go. I don't want it to exceed. I don't want it to be more than 1 hour. So you can see. So when you turn it like this, and then you iron it down, and then fix your band. You know the normal way you fix your band. So I'll iron it down. I'll just iron it, and then I can go and fix my band. Okay, so guys, so thank you so much, those of you that tuned in. I'll see you guys later in the evening. In the evening, we're going to do our normal pattern drafting stream. So thank you so much, all of you that tuned in today. I appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you. Join me. Bye.